Hello to everybody on the Zoom today. Thank you all for joining. We're excited to do this as our first Zoom meeting that we're doing in English to let people know a little bit more about why we are excited about Zinzino. And my name is Carla Nelson Wolf. I am originally from Minnesota, where I am right now. And I was a teacher and a counselor for many years, and I really thought that I was healthy until I met Zinzino and found out about this balance test. And that test showed that I really wasn't. But I've been doing this now for 10 years, and I probably have more energy now in my 50s than I do back in my 30s. So instead of getting 10 years older, I do feel 10 years younger. And you're going to hear quite a few different stories about what Zinzino has been doing to others. But to help me talk about this, I'd like to bring on somebody who knows a lot about health and has been helping a lot of others with Zinzino. She's actually a gold medalist in the Olympics from handball back years ago from Denmark. So I'm very honored that she is joining. So please welcome Anna Dorte Tenop. Hi, Anna Dorte.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Carla, for letting me co-host with you tonight. So yes, I'm an ex-sportif. I was when was it, 96, almost 30 years ago. I was active, and unfortunately I got an injury and had to stop my career. So then I transitioned into moving away from Denmark. I moved to Italy, lived there for 6-7 years, and today I live in Switzerland. So even though I'm Danish, I live in Switzerland, and you are now in Minnesota in the US, Carla, and I'm sure we have from several different countries tonight, and I find that so amazing. So my background is, of course, is in
it's spreading, so that's why we're going to tell so many people about it. And yeah, we're in different countries, but we're both excited about this. But I think it's because of what we know of what it's really doing for health. But you are not just before being sports, you've been teaching and doing things as a health professional for many years. So you've made health a business for you.
Yes, for sure. So first of all, I'm a mom of 4 boys, very active boys. So I know everything about having kids and trying to have a business at the same time. But I'm also a nutritionist. I'm a health coach, and I work with moms, and I work with kids, and I work with athletes. So when I was introduced to Zinzino, I was a little skeptical, but with a background in sports, I love things when we can always test. So that's why I'm here today, because this is test-based nutrition, and I like that. So
the testing, that's actually why. Otherwise, if I didn't have the test, I probably would have said, well, I guess I don't need it, or I don't, you'll have to wait to feel something. But health isn't about what you feel. It is the science behind this. So could you tell us a little bit about what this test is and why it's so important?
Yeah. So I was introduced to Zinzino 9 years ago, and I had been working as a nutritionist for a few years, and I thought I knew everything about health, and I was pretty sure I was healthy and I would have perfect score on my test. I did not have a perfect score. So I ran and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So I tested all my family, and I was actually the worst of all of them. So this test will show you on a cellular level how your cells protection against many things, but most of all, how we actually take in nutrients and get nutrients out of the cell again. So it's all about how healthy are we inside. And that is difficult, as you said, Carla, because of course you can feel good or you can feel bad, but sometimes you can feel good, but you're actually not that healthy inside and you don't know. So suddenly one day you will become sick and you're like, why? I didn't know why. And that's where we come into the picture here. I believe that we can actually help people get to understand early on where and how they look and how we can help them change. So we are very much in preventative health.
And I think it's not just finding out, it's like that temperature. You can check out what your temperature is, but here in Zinzino, we can actually do something about it. With our health protocol. So when you're looking at your cells, let's test and see where you're at. So you don't have to guess about things. Let's test about things so you can be sure about this. But then we recommend this health protocol. So could you just briefly say, what is it that is actually making a difference for people in their health? And why is this different than anything else?
I think when we just look 60 years back, we were eating quite differently than what we do today. And I think most of people that are online on this call today will agree that when we look at how much we're eating from the sea and how much we're eating from land, there's quite an imbalance. And we know from science, many, many years of science, that we should only be eating a little bit more of what we find on let's say on land when we talk about acids or fatty acids, so we talk about fat, than compared to what we have when we get the fish and algae from the sea. So I know that I would be eating fish 2 to 3 times a week, but I was still not in balance. Mm-hmm. So what we do here is that we look inside and we actually see, what is it? How does our cell look when we talk about fatty acids? So that is one part of it. We want the cell into balance between what we call omega-6 and omega-3. And we can talk a little bit more about that later, I think. The other thing we'll look at is what we're eating today lacks a lot of nutrient and also a lot of fibers. So we need a lot of fibers to have an amazing and an excellent way of digestive health. And we do not have too much, enough of that today. So that's another thing we do in the health protocol kit. We have extra fibers. The last thing we talk about is our immune system. We know that with age, our innate immune system, this immune system that we are born with, that is not trained, we have 2 different immune systems. The one that we are born with will get more and more slow over time and not work as well. So that's why we have another supplement that is the immune enhancing supplement that helps on several other things as well, but especially on our immune system. And I mean, with the past years of issues we've had in the world, who doesn't want a better immune system? So that is the health protocol kit. We look at the cells, we help the cells to get into balance, we help the digestive health, the gut, your intestine health into balance, and then we look at the immune system and we want that to be really optimized. So that is an short brief of what we actually can do with our health protocol kit.
And the thing is that this is different than anything else, because I kind of think of it as like a reset button for the health. Like when your computer's not working, you push Control-Alt-Delete and it just magically works better. But for the health protocol, when people start taking this is making such a difference for people's health just by getting started and like resetting their health, their body. Your body wants to heal itself. Your body wants to work. And this just gives it the opportunity for it, right?
Yes. And what I love here is that it is not just, as you said in the beginning, Carl, it's not just what we, how we feel. Of course, that's a huge part of it. But because we're testing, we can actually show people how our body changes, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And it just gives an extra way of looking at it and an extra way of wanting to change, because coming from athletic background, I love when I could test and I could become better. So what we do is that we test before we start using the products, and then we test again and we can see the progress. And that's just, I love that, because it's so easy. You have it there black on white that you actually have improved and that your body is getting better. I love that.
I do too. And actually, when we start getting people on that health protocol, we're seeing so many people make such a difference with their health. So let's hear a few of those. So I think I'll ask Patricia to unmute, also from a different country. Patricia, could you tell your story?
Hi, Carla. Hi, everyone. I'm Patricia. I'm from the UK and I worked as an operations manager. So around 3 years ago, I started having huge gut issues and I tried everything. You mean everything to resolve it. And I was not going anywhere. And it was extremely debilitating for me. So I couldn't do what I love. I'm an outdoor person, so I couldn't do it. And I love food and I had to stop eating my favorite foods like paella. So, and at that point then, I heard about Zinzino. and the health protocol. And just a couple of weeks of starting the health protocol, it totally changed everything for me. I started feeling better. And it was the beginning of my story. So now I can eat everything I want. So I'm back to play at a time. And I can be outdoor again with no issues whatsoever, no anxiety. So I'm really thankful for the health protocol.
I absolutely love that. Just to hear what the health protocol can do and getting that gut health and balance. Let's hear another story. Donna, would you be sweet and unmute yourself so we can hear your story? Donna?
Yes. So I had many physical issues, and pain most days was a scale of 1 to, or not, about 9 out of 10. It really affected my everyday life, especially my ability to spend time with my grandbabies. Since I started taking the Zinzino balance oil around the end of April, I have many days I barely notice my pain. My energy has increased to the point I've been able to drop 60 pounds, and I'm able to play with my grandsons the way I've never been able to in their entire life. My general quality of life has been so improved. I am so grateful to Zinzino, and that's really with just the balance oil, because that's all we have here in Canada. So I can't wait to be able to get the fibers and such, because yeah, it's helping so greatly. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Donna. I'm glad we could get that story because it is just so exciting to hear your story, because that's a big difference. And I know all about how important it is to be playing with those grandchildren. I've got two myself. So wonderful, wonderful story. Let's move on. Jimmy, would you mind telling your story, please?
Yes. Hey there. I'm Jimmy, and I'm 43 years old from Denmark. And I was actually born with a heart disease where I was operated 3 times since I was a child. And in 2012, I met Zinzino's health protocol, and it totally changed my life. I've been told back then that I should have a pacemaker or a new heart. And today I have nothing like that, and I have a fulfilled life. So thank you for Zinzino.
I love that. It really is making a difference for your life too. And our last story here with Catherine. Catherine, would you please unmute and tell your story?
Yes, hello. I am Catherine and I'm 45 years old. I'm Danish, but I live in Italy. And I was introduced to Zinzino 1.5 years ago. I'm a personal trainer and a coach. So I thought I knew what I should know about nutrition, right? So I was already, the interesting thing was that I was taking an omega-3 and I was, of course, out of balance. So that was like, wow. So I started on the health protocol. And as I work out a lot from 8 to 13 hours a week, I was tired. I was really tired, and I blamed the age, right? But when I started on the oil and the whole protocol, I could just feel energy is just changing after a few weeks. So I got energy back, got recovery times like reduced crazy, so I could do better. And I got rid of my migraines, period cramps even. And so that's fantastic. I got all the family tested and they're on the protocol as well. Fantastic.
Those are absolutely incredible stories. So we have so many different stories in Zinzino that are just so moving. But I think maybe even some of the most moving stories are when we really make a difference for children, because I know it made such a difference for my son. So we're going to hear a story from somebody who's going to tell a little bit about what it has done for his son and his family. Ola, would you please tell your story?
Hi there, everyone. My name is Ole. I'm from Denmark, and I'm a former professional football player, and I work within sales, and I'm currently between jobs. 1.5 years ago, our youngest son, he couldn't attend school, and because of mental difficulties and challenges. And even the friends he knew for a long time, he couldn't even see them or talk to them, and he was very close within himself. So back then we met Zinzino and the products, and after about 4 months, we suddenly saw a boy who was smiling. He was more open, and we could communicate with him, so we could take the steps forward that we wanted to. So for sure, and of course, we are very grateful that we met such products and Zinzino back then.
Oh, that is just so moving. You know, just to hear all these anecdata, just to hear what it's doing when it's because the body is actually working for itself. It's not something odd in products. This is just how the body should be working. Anecdata, what do you think of all these stories?
I've heard some similar stories, and it's not just tonight, but it keeps coming when people have this opportunity to actually get on the health protocol kit. These stories are lots and lots and lots of them. And when I hear this, it's quite, for me, it's quite simple to understand, because when you, as you say, Carla, we have bodies, and the human are like, we're not created to be sick. We're not created to have low energy, or to not be able to do what we want to do, or be able to go to jobs or whatever it is that we love to do. We're not created to have headaches or pain. So what I see here is that when we actually get what the body needs, the body starts healing itself again, because it's natural for it to actually be healthy and create itself over and over again. So it is not like a miracle, even though sometimes it sounds like it, but it is just us feeding the body what it actually needs, what is lacking in today's diets. And it's sad to say, but it's not just in some countries. It's not just when we listen to Americans and we know how badly they eat and stuff. It is also here in Europe, in Asia, in Africa. It's everywhere today. And it's just so sad. And I know we have here the opportunity to actually help people have a good diet again, the basic nutrition back into their diets. And it will change for many, many people. It will change the lifetime and how they feel. So I'm just so happy that it's possible for people, for Zinzino, to actually help people do this.
You know, and it wasn't just here. We heard stories and we didn't plan that, but I'm like, okay, Switzerland, Italy, UK, Canada, US, and I mean, we're hitting everywhere, but everybody really needs this. And actually, Zinzino's tested almost 1 million people now, and everybody seems to be out of balance, and everybody really needs this. So it's the test is what's proving it. It's important to do it, and the health protocol is, I remember one of the scientists behind the products, Dr. Paul, he said something to the effect of, this is just like putting your body back to a state like 150 years ago, so your body can actually fight for itself.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. So when we talk about Dr. Paul, so he's an amazing scientist and professor, and he's been on so many different amazing scientific researchers. So when he talks about it, we talk about the blue zones, which are different zones around the world where we have been studying, and we can see that people have lived healthily into old age and die from age and die from when they get old. And today we don't live into our old age and still be functional. Well, a lot of people today have very big issues as when they get into their 50s, with different diseases and of course debilitating work life even. So I think what is happening here today is that if we can have the nutrition that we have seen and we know that they have had in the blue zones, we know that we can actually be healthy into long into old age. So I think that is especially exciting today, when we also know when it's not too many people getting old, and we do live in these homes where it might not be so nice to live when you get old. So I will try to stay out of these homes where we need to get in, many of us, when we get older, because that is something that we don't want to do.
I think everybody wants that. And I think when people really start to look at the science and they see these doctors that are behind it, Dr. Colin Robertson, Dr. Paul Clayton, you can see, just look up who they are. drpaulclayton.eu is his blog. But they're saying what we're doing here is actually, the Zinzino community is actually creating their own blue zone, because we're putting our bodies back to how they were back in these blue zones so the body can heal itself. That's why we're hearing the stories like Jimmy and his heart, or that people are feeling different, or getting more energy because their guts are getting in balance, you know, that microbiome is getting in balance. So it's making that much different. Or, you know, besides our health protocol, that next product that I think is really important to talk about is stuff that is making a difference for the brain, like Ola's son. It's so moving to hear that we have a product called Viva. So besides our health protocol, which is the balance oil, the Extend, which is our vitamins and minerals, and the Xenobiotic for the microbiome, those three things are resetting that health. But also, some people are adding that Viva. Could you tell a little bit about what Viva does?
Yes, and I have a story here from my own home where we used Viva. So when Viva came out, which is a nootropic supplement, meaning that it actually has an impact on the brain in a positive way. So we normally say that we use Viva when you have maybe low mood state, if you feel stressed, but also very often when you have issues sleeping. So I have a son when he was 12, he's 18 today, but when he was 12, he had huge issues sleeping outside our house, so being away over the weekend. And he was very good soccer player. So when you're a good soccer player in that age, you start going to tournaments and you have to be there. And way too often I had to pick him up, so he couldn't stay with his team. So when we got Viva, I said, why not? I mean, if it helps with sleep, so let's try. And it was just amazing. I was like, wow. So in a week, he suddenly started to feel much better. When he woke up, he could fall back to sleep. He was not feeling afraid anymore. So I was like, this is amazing. So I started, you know, giving out samples of Viva, and everywhere it was just like, oh, I feel better. I can feel my mood. And then I tried myself, and I was like, okay, I actually, after having had 4 kids and 3 of them in 3 years, I did not sleep very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I took Viva, and for the first time in many years, in 6-7 years, I could sleep through the night and not wake up before the kids actually stood next to my bed, not just when they opened their door. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, whoa. So Viva, what it does is it's full of something we probably all have heard about before, saffron.
Mm-hmm. They were talking about Yaya before.
Yes. So saffron is an amazing, let's say, a spice that we know that's very, very expensive spice, but we know also from years back when it was used to help exactly with what we talk about today, that Viva can help with. So it has been forgotten, but now it's back into, let's say, into the Western medicine again. So we use Viva when we have low mood state, when we feel stressed, or when we need to sleep. I have a lot of these girls today in their 16, 18 years old that want to be very, very good in school. And sometimes they get a little too excited and feel bad about it. And many of them, when they use Viva, it makes them calm down and clear their head and be focused when they actually need to go to exam and be focused. So it's used for so many things. And you're right, Carla, it changes lives.
Mm-hmm. That's what Viva means, life. And that's what I hear so many people say to me, thank you for giving me my life back. You know, speaking of life back, that energy, that difference, you know, I think you and I have said, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years, and so many people have said, you know, Carla, you look 10 years younger, not 10 years older in the last years. I know you have had the same thing. And that feel, I mean, I had 4 kids too. And then now I have 2 grandbabies, and I love being able to run after them and have so much. And like Donna said, you know, being able to run after those grandbabies and have that relationship, that means more than anything. But this does have, it's like putting your body back in time, because it's probably the best thing you can do for anti-aging.
I totally agree. And I think what Catherine talked about before, that when she trains a lot, so I have athletes also that I help with nutrition, and one of the things that they actually say is that they can train harder and they are not as sore, so their the way they recuperate is much faster. So how I look at this is that if we can help athletes actually have an easier way of training and become stronger faster with less pain and less fatigue, it's the same that happens in everybody's bodies, meaning that we kind of reverse, because the daily wear and tear is not as hard, because we actually now feed ourselves with things that helps us regenerate faster or better. So I see this as you say, it's not just for athletes that want to become stronger and better and faster, but it's also for us, because we have an anti-aging antidote here, or not antidote, but the antidote for aging.
I think it sounds right. Anti-aging antidote. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I think too, and people are probably thinking, well, if it's just omega-3 or just some supplements, we can get those anywhere. But I think this is so different, because it's not just omega-3. This is actually, it works more like it, not fish oil, but oily fish. It works like fish itself, not like a supplement. The products work like food. So if we were eating the way we did 150 years ago, we would have things. And so to me, this is different than anything else. Even our xenobiotic is not just a fiber that like you could get. You're actually getting prebiotic fiber for every area to get the right food to the right microbiome. So there isn't, I don't see anything on the market that's working like Zinzino works. And we're hearing story after story to prove it, right?
Yes. And I think the most exciting thing here, besides the products that are really working, is actually the test, because we can prove it. And that's why I'm here today, because I saw that I was inside, I was not as healthy as I thought I was. And I had also very nice reactions with, especially with energy and sleep afterwards. But what I believe here is essential is that you can get tested and you can see if what you're using today, if you take a supplement, an omega-3 supplement, you can get a test and you can see if it's working, if you are paying. So if you get value for money. And I think I have had so many customers and clients, it's like, oh, we have been on this, as we also heard some of you say, we've been on omega-3s for years and we were not in balance. And then they get tested again after having used the balance oil for 4 to 5, 6 months, and they're suddenly back in balance. And they feel the difference. So I believe that there are two sides here. Even one thing is that we can see that people need to have an omega-3, but we can also see that most of what you have on the market is not value for money. And that's what I believe is amazing here. So I test my clients every year, because we also know that things can change. So if you grow, you need more, because what we do is we give based on our body weight. So I need more than my kids, because they're younger. They're not just younger, but they weigh less than me. And that's also important, because most omega-3 products out there, you will only get, oh, you need 2 capsules. No, I might need 3. Who knows? We can only know if we test. So I think that's
like that. Yeah. And that's why I think it's so important because we're working at getting the word out, and both you and I have been passionate about letting everybody know about this. And so let's talk a little bit about that, because in Zinzino, people can make a choice, sign up as a customer and take products because you want to get healthier, or people can actually choose to sign up as a partner and partner up with the company. Now, I have to say personally, I was a teacher, I was a counselor, and I loved being that. I was one of those teachers who danced to work every day and danced home. But, the problem for me was there was a lot of meetings in the afternoon and evening. And so it took away from family time, which is probably for me what the most important thing was in my life. And from getting started with Zinzino, knowing that it really made a difference for my family, for my son. I mean, my test score was way off. I was one of Denmark's worst. I think I was 34.4 to 1. But
yeah, we want to be very low. So we need to be 3 to 1 or less. So you were very high. You had a lot of imbalance.
And even though I didn't feel that I had anything wrong with me, when I understood those numbers, getting down to 2.8 to 1, that made such a huge impact for me that I started to tell more people about this. And after some time, I actually was able to replace that income so I could make the decision, which I did, because at that time my kids were all 4 teenagers, and I thought, how long am I really going to have them at home? So I was able to be at home, and that was probably the best gift that I got through Zinzino. So I chose to partner up, but you know, customers and partners pay the same. So it's not that we're trying to get people involved in any business. People can make that choice. But why did you choose to partner up with Zinzino?
So I didn't choose right away, but when I saw what it did with me and to me, I was like, huh, this is interesting, this thing here. And I couldn't stop talking about it because I got so excited, because it's like, are you using any kind of omega-3? Let me test you, you know. I just couldn't stop it. And I have seen amazing results with that product. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So when we opened Europe and we opened Switzerland, I was like, I'm in. I want to do this. I believe in multiple streams of income. I'm a coach, I'm a nutritionist, and I also work with Zinzino because I can see that I can help my clients in different ways here. I can actually offer them solutions that I believe are the best on the market. So they don't go somewhere else to find it, but they can trust me because I have actually tried it. So the main reason why I'm here and why I do this with Zinzino is because, first of all, I love the products and the test, but also because I know I have something that my clients, otherwise I would tell them to go somewhere else to find. So why don't I do what I know is the best, and I give them that opportunity? So that's why I work with Zinzino, because I can see how much of a difference it does. And there's one more thing that I found afterwards, Carla, that I did not know, because I did this because of the product. But I have found that in Zinzino, coming from a team sport as handball is, I suddenly found my team again. And being in an environment where people are positive and want to do different things and want to do things for people, and we have a community where we help each other and we support each other, was suddenly being back on my national team again, where it's really important that everybody does their best. So that's what I also found. So I have found colleagues that actually want me to succeed. And that was just amazing. So that was another part of why I'm here.
I love that. Well, let's also hear a few others. So could I ask Lena to unmute yourself? And would you mind telling your story of why you chose to partner up with Zinzino?
Of course, of course. Hi, everybody. My name is Lena, and I live in Denmark. I'm a vet nurse at the local animal hospital. And I actually like my job. I like making a difference, but I don't like the size of my paycheck. And being a single mom is kind of hard to make ends meet. And it's pretty tough when you always have to count every penny that you have. And it's tough to say no to your children when they really, really wish for something. And I have to say that we can afford that. So my 2 children really wanted their own pony because they wanted to do a competition in dressage riding. And I couldn't afford that. But working with Zinzino, I can still make that difference, and I can afford the pony. So for the last 6 years, we have been blessed with the most beautiful horse in our little family, and a lot of competition time for both of my girls. So Zinzino made the horse dream possible for my 2 children.
I love that story, just to hear what it can do for the entire family by choosing to make that choice. Wonderful. Pernille, would you tell your story of why you chose to start with Zinzino?
Yes, thank you. My name is Pernille. I live in Denmark, and I'm an actress, and I got into acting because I wanted to make the good story that changed feelings, a way of thinking, and unfortunately, there's a lot of crappy theater and a lot of nonsense, and I haven't even got offered a lot of those good stories. And with a family and a child, then 6 nights a week doesn't fit. And when I discovered Cincino, I found all these stories, and even some of my customers has those great stories, and I love it, and it gives me so much. So it makes so much sense for me, and what brings further on is that I can work with the people that I want to, and I can work the hours that I want to. So I'm so happy about it.
Wow, that was again making a difference for your family and what it really can do when you're able to choose your hours to be at home with the children. So I'm going to just do one more here. Mette, could you unmute yourself and tell a little bit about why you chose to partner up with Cincino?
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. My name is Mette, and I'm from Denmark as well. I have been working many years as a secretary for a lawyer's office, and that was really long working hours. So I wasn't able to be there for my children when they were coming home from school. I have 2 kids, one is 9 and one is 11, and it means so much for me to be there for them. So I started Cincino, and I have been building an income. So and that's I'm even more passionate about this than my former job. So so now I'm able to be there for my kids when they're coming home from school, and I can choose whenever I want to work. And I feel that I'm doing really a great difference for many people as well, not only for myself and my family. So yeah, I'm so grateful for that.
Well, thank you all for sharing those stories. You know, Anna-Dora, when you hear that, people can really make a difference. And you know, people can choose to just say, I want to just take the products or try the products or see if they really do make a difference. Some people even start as a customer, but they can also choose to partner up. And I think this company has, like, what I see in the future is when it really shows and proves it because of the test that there are 97% of the population who need this, that are over 3 to 1, but yet we're proving that they're getting into balance, getting down to 3 to 1 now. That is huge. And we haven't even scratched the surface. We've got the entire world to tell. When I got started, there was only 5 countries open 10 years ago. Now you can sign up customers in 100 countries. Anna-Dora, how do you see the future with Cincino?
Oh, I don't even see the end of this. I mean, we know what the vision is for the company. So we know we're going towards the first 1 million customers, and then 20 million, and then 100 million in 2050. Where I see we're going is people really want to understand how to become more healthy today. And the past years, we have talked so much about testing, and it's become pretty normal for people to test themselves. So I see that when we actually have a system and we have the possibility to test people into their core of their health, the cells, I can only see that this is the way people want to live and want to know how to become more healthy. So I use the tests, and we know that this is, as you said, just scratching the surface, Carla, because we know that there will be developed many more different types and kinds of tests. So this is for sure, this company, Cincino, is the pioneer in test-based personalized nutrition. And that's what I see. The future.
A lot of people, if they're thinking, you know, are the products really working? Well, they're using their people's own blood to let it know, okay, I think it's working. And it's an independent test. It goes to an independent lab, you know, so it's not Cincino saying that this is working. It is, you Google omega-6 through balance, there's 65 million hits out there that say that it works, you know. So we don't have to worry about that. The company itself, as you said, we're just scratching the surface, and you know, we're on NASDAQ. because a lot of people say, well, those kind of companies, are they a good company to be a part of when, you know, you have that kind of, you know, form of direct sell? Can you really create an income?
Yes.
Well, I know the income that you can create here. I mean, I wouldn't be able to earn the income that I did as a teacher, even if I was the superintendent of the school. And we know that you can actually, there's no limit to the income that you create. And we just got started. So it's a wonderful timing to get started. So the company itself, if people look on NASDAQ, they can find the stocks, they can see it's very transparent. Almost every country is growing. What is the average? I think it started 2005 and we've grown like 33% every year. There's only one reason to be doing that, and that's because so many people have been taking the product, and we have like 20 customers per distributor. So we know that people want these products, right? So the company itself, we know, is incredible as a company. So people sometimes ask about the company, sometimes they ask about the product, they ask about the profession, but we know those three things, check them out. And the last thing is who, if they can do it. Sometimes people are doubting if they can. But I think that's one of the things that this is important to show, is that there's so many different people. And I believe absolutely everybody can build this business if that's what they want to. If people aren't wanting to create that extra income and are just looking for health, then be a customer. Take the products. That's the most important thing. But they can choose both, correct?
Yes. And I think there's also a customer product free program. So we can actually also even help our customers get the products for free, building our own business. And so I think that is also pretty amazing. So if customers are happy with the products, they kind of refer us to new customers. And that's how we can build also a quite interesting business. And you can do it as a side hustle, or you can do it full time. It is up to you and what your desires and wishes are in the world, in the life you have. So I totally agree, Carla. It is up. If you are interested in the products, be a customer. If you're interested in the products, and maybe do something more and be part of this community where we definitely make a difference, reach out and yeah, get to know us a little bit better. We're always ready to talk to people.
I think that's a great way to end this, because people can really make that choice of what you want to do with Zinzino. But what we know is that we are passionate about making that difference for people, helping people live a healthier life, or giving their life back and making a difference with those stories, whether it is with their health or actually helping them create that income to do what they want with their life, like being at home with their children, or being home when the children get home. I just love each and every one of those stories. So we're going to continue to build this story by story until we hit that 1 million customers, the goal in 2050. Anna Dorte, thank you for sharing all about the products and what this really does for people. And I know that the future is really bright for Zinzino, because we really do want to make a difference, and with a whole community of people to make a difference for people's lives. So thanks, Anna Dorte, for being on, and thanks everybody for joining. I think I will let everybody wave here, and thank you all for joining. Contact the person who was on, invited you to this, and thank you for being on this time until we see you again. I'll also let everybody unmute. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you all.